stress. I want you try surviving on the public face, then you're gonna know but stress. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how we go set up. The people fed up. They done drive no fair with the citizen. They may want the people speak out. Freedom of speech done gone inside the gutter. Knock off when you open your mouth. Discrimination in entertainment, and you're talking about one Guyana. When the Ministry of Culture keep the big shows, one set of girls and banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how we evil set up. The people fed up. Every picture you take and promise you make, everything you do is about clout. Then you come into me for I shake your hand, there's nothing to smile about. Corruption inside every sector, but when it comes to them they send you. Try investigate efficiency, right? Go talk to Baratans too. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how we evil set up. The people fed up. I done fed up on the dirty water, low pressure, want scream and tell somebody. Imagine 1500 US, and they're telling me super salary. I done fed up on the unemployment racism and the lie they say one Guyana. Cause when you look where the oil money going, circulate with one set of banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up.
PPP will take care of you from erection to resurrection.
Oh, Jesus Christ, if cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. Flour, everything gone up. Everything just raising. You gotta get about $40,000 for buy good ration. You gotta get 3 man now. A weekend man, a monthly man, and a fortnight man.
The national player! And the ball from Foxton Digital. All over! Showtime! Bust your ass! The national player, bust your backside.
Good night, everyone. Good night to all our viewers here on Bench Cup Radio 107.1 FM. And of course, this is the usual 9 o'clock program, Straight Up. And it is supposed to be with Mark Benchcup, but tonight it is with Ganesh Mahipal, yours truly, and of course, my dear colleague, Nima Flubes. And we're expected to be joined by another member of parliament. And our presence tonight is really to have a conversation with you, the people, in the sense of us discussing current affairs and the state of Guyana. Oftentimes we are controlled by the information because there is an act of distraction coming from our opposition side, which is the People's Progressive Party or our opponents. And the real picture is oftentimes not given to our people. Distraction politics is real in Guyana. Pictures of glorious Guyana is being painted, and when the reality presents itself, we see a different story altogether. And we have to thank the advent of internet access across our country, which is allowing us the opportunity to see how our ordinary brothers and sisters are punishing for basic services and basic amenities. It is something that has to be addressed, and we have to continue to call out the government for their selective way of dealing with these issues. Now, we are not stifling our conscience. I can tell you, Nima and myself, along with the other representatives and party of the PNCR and the coalition in general, the APNU, we are not stifling our conscience. We are well aware that from 2020 to now, our country has had tremendous resources at its disposal in the billions of dollars to the point where we are now a $1 trillion economy. And based on how this government is requesting funds, we may very soon, probably in a couple of months' time, be $2 trillion. So the question is, where is the money going? We are not stifling our conscience, as I said. We do see some degree of improvement in terms of roads, some degree of improvement in terms of other facilities and other mechanisms. But is it equitably distributed to the Guyanese people? That's a question my colleague Nima Flubes will answer. And when we see the improvement that I speak of, is it done in terms of quality? Is the people of Guyana getting quality, or is there wild spending? Is there unaccountable spending? Is there transparency and accountability? And are those distracted by Irfan riding his bicycle around Georgetown? Is that distracted by playing the domino game and trying to bust a fine wine, as you saw there just now? And the discussion is centered around distraction politics versus reality politics. Distraction of the ordinary Guyanese and the reality on the ground. Nima, over to you as you speak to our viewers.
Good evening, Ganesh. And good evening, Mark. Good evening to the viewers. It's a honor to be up and be on the program this evening. I'm reading the comments as you speak. And I want to start right where the video ended with the woman speaking about the cost of living. Um, we continue to see every day the struggles of ordinary Guyanese in this fastest growing economy. People unable to meet basic needs. Every week you go to the market, the money that you went with last week will not give you the same amount of items or products in the new week. But what is holding back this runaway train? What mechanism has the government put in place to address this runaway train on the high cost of living and Guyanese not really benefiting in any way from this fastest growing economy? Nothing. And that's just the simple truth. They will tell you that they have removed VAT, they have done this, they have done that. But there's nothing in the system that monitors and provides the necessary information to stop the runaway train from continuing to squeeze the ordinary Guyanese when it comes to prices in the market. When we talk about equitable distribution, it's quite ironic that you rose that, you spoke of that tonight because I was just putting together a clip to share. Mocha Arcade community, as you know, is struggling with severe flooding, not as a result of heavy rainfalls, but also where the government has made our community a basin by dumping water from the conservancy and from the river and so forth, all coming through number 3 canal. And you know what I recognize? Every flood that is taking place, Region 6 got everything. The rice farmers got the support and all of that. While farmers on the East Bank losing billions of dollars in the backlands as a result of negligence in maintenance of drainage and deliberately throwing water in certain areas. But have we seen the minister or anybody coming in with the flood relief for these farmers? No. So here again, you don't see equitable distribution of resources. Whilst one suffer and get assistance, the other got suffer, everything got to go to waste before something happen. And when they might come, they might not even get a quarter of the cost of loss that they've incurred as a result of this excessive water being dumped there. And we have several other areas which we can identify where we don't have equitable distribution of resources in the country, you look at the development of infrastructural work, you come to some communities, you have these roads that were converted from 2 vehicles to 1 vehicle road. 1 vehicle could pass on the road. Before that, you had 2 vehicles traversing. And then there are communities you go to, and you see the difference. The road is so wide, it fit 2 big vehicles comfortably. And that also speaks to how the resources are distributed in this country. But we have to keep the pressure on to this government to ensure that all Guyanese benefit. We're not refugees. We're Guyanese, we're born Guyanese, and definitely we all deserve to enjoy an equal part of the pie that is here in Guyana.
Nima, I want to zone in on what you said there and be a little bit more specific to the community of Mocha Arcadia. Now, I know you were the representative for the East Bank of Demerara, and you have been doing a fantastic job. It's only fair, not only because you're my colleague, but I have to commend you for your continuous outreaches across the East Bank, the East Bank of Demerara. You have been seen in Timeri, you have been seen in various other communities, Friendship, when they had the issue at Hillfoot. They also had that issue at Friendship. There were issues at Barnwell and several other areas you are known to be on the ground with. But I want to zone into Mocha Arcadia because you raised a very important point. And this is what we have been continuously saying: selective representation. You said that it seems as though Region 6 is getting everything, in the sense that if little rain fall and the flood happen, the cash crop farmers, the rice farmers, the cane cutters, everybody is getting in that region. The other regions, some of them in Region 2 also, they are benefiting from these very things too. You call it compensation for losses. And we are not against that. So I don't want people to run away with this narrative as though the APNU is against the distribution to these people for the losses they have incurred. But what we're saying is that you can't have selective representation. Mocha Arcadia suffered in this recent rainfall. Several farmers, their produce, their crops were underwater. They have also lost a lot. Between 2020 to 2025, Nima, I remember ministers used to come into Mocha Arcadia as though they genuinely wanted to display a sense of love for that community. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Sonia Parag was in that community countless times during that period, 2020 to 2025. But I can't remember since after elections 2025 seeing Sonia Parag visiting Mocha Arcadia. I can't remember seeing Kwame McCoy visiting Mocha Arcadia. I can't remember seeing Suzanne Rodriguez or Vindi Passad or none of them coming into Mocha Arcadia. So was it a sham? Was it a sham for them 2020 to 2025? Do they genuinely have Mocha Arcadia people at heart? And when you're finished answering that, I'm going to move to what is our issue as coalition supporters in terms of being distracted. But go ahead and answer.
Well, these people would sneak into the community and meet with the persons who are supporting them. And that's what they've been doing. But persons in the community are not blind. We have encountered so many flooding under the PPP as a community. I can start with where we had our first market day in 2020, the latter part of 2020. Very successful market day with farmers bringing out produce and so forth from the market. And immediately after that market, within 1 month, these demons blocked the main drainage canal by saying they're going to construct a bridge for the neighboring community. And that costs a lot of farmers billions. You know how difficult it is to stand up and see persons got 100, 200, 300 banana planting suckers falling down with young planting and young banana on the ground. We see that again this time on the water. Imagine seeing bearing lemon trees, big lemon trees. And because of the water being on the land for 2, 3 weeks, falling down, and you're not able to save. People got a young nursery with the plants, and by the time you get up and you come back to your farm the next day, everything is underwater. You know how hurtful it is to walk into a chicken pen and see 100, 200 chicken dead, and they're probably just a week or two away from being plucked. Look at the cost. Those farmers would spend days working on the farm, preparing the land, buying the feed, taking care of the chickens and so forth. And then all this water come on the land. And nobody's there to compensate you. You already invest millions of dollars and you can't compensate. When you calculate the money, it's time, it's resources, it's effort. Look, they got a farmer just before the rainfall because of the land. His excavator went down. It's still in the, it's sunk. It's still in the earth. No assistance. And you know, excavator is not $100. But that farmer would have invested and tried what he had to do so that he can help to increase the quantity of his produce. And nothing. But I would say to them, and I would always say it is easy to steal a village drum, the African proverbs say, but it is always difficult to find the right place to beat it. And so with all the pampersetting that these ministers go on with, we know they don't have our community at heart. When they decided to give out assistance the last time, I remember Region 3, they went and share out chicken. People collect 100 chicken, 200 chicken. I'm sure you could attest to that. And how much duck and so. You want to come and give mucker? Come, you get 2 fowl, 10 chicken, couple this, 100,000 here, 200,000 for this person. Who you think, and this is how they're doing it, who you think could manage and get themselves back on the foot? Oh, this person could do it, scratch it off the list. So half of the farmers in benefit. But you see, the other communities, from the time something happened, you see the president declared they will get immediate relief. What happened to the people that y'all continue to drown here in Mocha Arcade community? Mocha Arcade is a self-sufficient community. It's a community, I always boast. I do not have to go to any of the markets to shop my fruits and vegetables and my chicken and all of that. I spend my money in the community. And all of the backlands that you see they're doing these things. So it's not only Mocha. Look, I shared a video with the men from the back of Craig showing a road where the tractor used to drive on to go and plow. And a boat was going in on the same road to go and help to get out some of the cassava. That is the struggle. That is the reality. And I'm saying to the government, you have to be fair. Just like how other people deserve immediate relief, bring immediate relief to the other community. You're making promises to do this, that for everybody else except the whole Guyanese people who are suffering. And like I said, the flooding here this time, it's not only rain. They have deliberately been dumping water into this community to flood us from the conservancy and from the river. I did a video on it on Saturday to show people how the waters keep coming in. All the communities nearby, they block up all them cocoa along the east bank that normally provides drainage. They're blocked and now they're trying to dump everything in number 3 canal, which means that it will continue to flood the lands in Moko. And so we have to continue speaking on the issue and keep fighting them about it. Because the same way they're flooding the land, they're sending people for check we lands out. And like I said in the parliament, the people of Mocha Arcadia are not refugees. They didn't come from Bangladesh. They didn't come from Venezuela. Our lands were purchased by our ancestors and we will inherit it. So no matter how much shenanigans and all that they do, we can stand up and fight for it. Because we know the cost and what was paid for those lands. And it is totally unfair to have a government that sits and do things to oppress and bring people down. It is, it's really hurtful when you see millions of dollars in food going to waste because there's a group of people that feel that the people don't fit into their group, and so they must suffer. So I'm calling on them for equitable distribution. I am still waiting for them to come and say to the farmers here in Mocha, I done the evaluation and we're going to compensate you with so much so that the farmers could start putting things in place to try to get back on their feet. It is
Well,
very
that was actually my next question to you since you were speaking, is that um were farmers in the Arcadia community communicated with in terms of their losses, and were they promised compensation? You said that you're waiting for them to come and say that they have concluded the assessment. Did they do the assessment, and were the assessments done properly to ascertain the true losses of these farmers in terms and whether they will be compensated? And mind you, this is not the first time Mocha Arcadia is suffering. Like many other communities that have suffered and were compensated in the years gone by, here again we have Mocha Arcadia suffering. But was adequate compensation done in the past? And do you foresee adequate compensation being done currently?
adequate compensation was not done in the past. Let me make that clear. Since the flooding, I was told that an engineer and I think the CEO or somebody came in and made a promise to one, because there was a raid project that was done in this village, and a coker was supposed to be established to assist with this excessive water went on the land. And they stopped. I don't know what they did with the money from the raid project for the coker and all of that. Instead, they have a pump there pumping water for the almost 2 years. Pumping water. And you're recognizing that you're pumping this water and water still accumulating on the land. Why is it that you haven't constructed the coker? So they came and made a commitment, and a commitment was made for them to do the assessment of farmers' losses, and then I guess compensation will come. But nobody promised compensation yet, They're just talking piecemeal. And then, but the thing is, we don't see that in the other areas. When you see flooding and so, they just hurry up and get the teams out there and do what they have to do within a week, 2 weeks. These people collecting some money. But you got water on people and 3-4 weeks going, almost a month. And you ain't come yet to do proper evaluation. And everything is a slow foot thing. You come, you show up, pose up, run your mouth, and then you're going back. We don't want that. We want action. We want to know, I want to know that the farmers will be compensated for the losses they've incurred. If it was rain alone, it's a different thing, but it is not. It is rain plus the conservancy and water would have leaded into the village, plus the river water. And so we have a right again to ask them to get it right. Stop this slow foot thing, like if they got a stroke in the foot, and come and ensure our farmers are compensated. It's very difficult for the farmers who are expecting to reap. Ganesh, I walk and I see but 10 beds of boro flat on the ground with the boro on the young boro. How you could compensate the farm? The guy said, MP, this is why they plan to sell next week. Then the water comes, so everything down. Pepper, everything down. So you're expecting that they will move swiftly. to ensure that these people get the assistance they need so that they can stand again. And that's what we continue to call for. And I'm calling for that for all the farmers right through, because as you know, I represent the East Bank. So I could talk from the top to the bottom. You got the farmers in Craig, you got farmers in Friendship, you got farmers in Canaan area, you got farmers on the highway. I remember in Aruni, we spent almost a whole year to get one machine to go and clear a canal that was, because the Edos farm were underwater for a long time, over 1 year. You know much thing these people had to do? Forget this machine, they had to attend political meeting, they had to beg some more, they beg a little more for 12 months before a machine turned up for rescue them. And so we have a lot of farmers struggling right along this East Bank because there's no priority there. And if you listen to my budget, during the budget question, you would have heard me asking, how come is it that you don't expect any flooding, so no allocation here for flooding in Region 4? It's actually in the budget book when I asked the question. And they were saying, no, this is what they anticipate. I didn't know that they knew exactly what the weather will look like. Every year we encounter some amount of flooding. And because of these infrastructural work that they're doing, my chairman would have pointed out many times the contractors, they throw stuff in the canals, no engineer, nobody checking on them. And they're also adding to the stress of the farmers enduring days, weeks, and months of water on the land.
You know, Nima, thank you for that. And I want to pivot a little now to our viewers who are our supporters, who I would like to thank for tuning in daily on this program and several other programs that we host, whether it's the Coretta McDonald's show, and she has been doing one of recent called Same Things, Different Days. You, Nima, you have your program Saturdays, People's Representative. I think it's from 11 to 11:30. We have Sherrod Duncan also, 11 to 12, sorry. We have Sherrod Duncan also with Credible Sources and his In the Ring program and several other programs, Bench Cop Radio, of course. And you know, there are people in this country that are genuinely punishing. They have difficulties making ends meet, and they're suffering at the hands of this regime that is selectively deciding who they will put money into, whose hands they will put money into. But our people, we are allowing ourselves to be distracted by non-essential problems and not advancing that uniform discussion to showcase what is really happening to our people. We are allowing ourselves to be consumed by foolish discourse, with myopic thinking, attacking each other as opposed to holding the fort with the representatives to advance the people's case and dominate the World Wide Web, dominate the social media, dominate the news outlets, sharing widely what is happening to our people. We are allowing ourselves to be distracted, and we are advancing other arguments with a broken system, and the People's Progressive Party is continuing to run on top of all of us. I want to appeal to the viewers that we have to ensure that we stay course. We can't be meandering here and then turning there and twisting and turning. We have to stay course, and we have to push forward for what is needed for our people. We cannot not share the information widely, not consume the internet, and expect a change to happen. The People's Progressive Party understands one thing. And that is when you confront them collectively and show people's power, you are likely to get the results you need. But if you're going to be selective and part-time and fight amongst yourself, then you're not going to achieve what has to be achieved. So I am appealing to our people that we have to do some level of introspection as we seek to represent. And I'm calling on our people to realize that the PPP support base, they're not fighting among themselves. And they have real issues. They have real issues that exist in their camp. Right now, there is a fight amongst themselves to see who's going to be the next presidential candidate. Because Irfan Ali cannot go for a third term. Jagdeo cannot go for a third term. So they got to find somebody. And there is a battle in the PPP. Charles Ramson believes it's his time. But I don't know if we could elevate Duns to another level with what we have already done with Irfan. But if we are stupid enough to go down that road, then we shall surely pay the price. Then we also see Anil Nandalal, who believes it's his time. Vindhya Prasad is also making a pitch for it. Of course, I can't leave out Priya Manikchand that thinks that she's entitled to. So they are having their own fight and battle internally. But when they come out in the public space, you would believe as though they're the Teletubbies. There's how much Teletubbies we had? 5 or 6? And all 6 of them used to play together nicely. One rubbing the other one belly and what's not. And they're dancing and jumping and going down the road. You remember the program Teletubbies? When you see the PPP in the public space, it's Teletubbies at its best. But internally, they're eating out each other there. And we have to recognize that, and I'm not saying, Nima, that we wouldn't have our issues. We're human beings too. We will have our issues. We have ambitious people too. Nothing is wrong having ambition. But what is wrong with us is that we seem to believe that the public space is where we will fight our battle and get our results. And all we do in the public space is destroy our own self. That's all we do. We destroy our own self. And I'm saying we, holistically speaking about our people, because I know Nima and I don't fight. And even if we do fight, we fight in our own little space that you in the public don't even know about. And Nima can attest that we have had some very rigorous discussion. But it will never come in the public space because your interest is what is better and more important than the fight that Nima and I are expected to have or Saiku and I are expected to have. I want our people to understand that this battle that we are having here with the PPP, it can only yield the result we want it to yield once we can see the need to fight the issues and not the personalities in the party. Everybody in our party, everyone, I'm telling you, they're genuine and they are there representing a cause and they're fighting for you daily. And sometimes it hurts when you have to see that there's a discussion that is centered around something within our party, in the public space, as opposed to how our ordinary people are punishing and suffering. We heard about Mocha Arcadia and what the people are going on with there. But you would hardly find tomorrow morning our supporters and our media commentators talking about what's happening in Mocha Arcadia. No, they will find pleasure in trying to destroy one of the representatives that is fighting for them, or 2 of the representatives, or all. We have a broken police force. Look what has happened to that young man in Region 6 in quarantine at Little Africa. We have not gotten answers concerning the Henry Boys and Harish Singh as yet. We remember Quindon Bacchus. We remember Orrin Boston. We remember Ronaldo Peters. And we remember Keon Fujini. Those are cases that we are supposed to continue to speak about, because tomorrow it can be one of our children, or it could very well be one of us. So instead of us fighting each other, we got to fight the common battle against the enemy that is before us. And the enemy that is before us is the people who are in government with the $1 trillion, and they're not spending it on ensuring equitable distribution of resources, equitable distribution to our people, so that we can all be lifted with the one tide. But instead, they're selective grouping. Now, I'm sure Psycho Andrews was listening to us as we are having our discussion, so I'm going to bring him in. And Psycho, you throw in your talks, because I want to go into a finding in the General's report. But before that, let's hear from Psycho Andrews.
Well, good evening, viewers. Good evening, MPs.
Good
How are you
evening.
guys? Well, I didn't get to follow much, but from what I'm hearing, MP Ganesh, is that there's an issue of an unevenness in distribution of resources, and it is very clear. There is no running around the issue. But this is the modus operandi of the PPP. What the PPP does is to come into our constituency and find someone who's popular and put them in the corner office, cause them to be the shining star in the community. So they give them a little contract, and this is a strategy. They give them a little contract. They're able to pay on a car. And before you know it, they got this car loan, but they're driving in the community with a car. This is somebody who's been riding a bicycle all the time. And so everybody in the constituency, in the community, believes that maybe one day the opportunity will come to me to get a car just like him. But little do they know, that opportunity is not going to come. Once every 5 years, they're going to find 2 stars. They're going to get the car, they're going to get to buy a little more brand name clothing, and they look in the community that, oh, they're with the PPP and they're prospering. And that is the strategy. And so our supporters sometimes see the shining star in the corner office and think, my chance is going to come. But the reality is your chance is not going to come, because at the back of the mind of the PPP is this. If we allow the one tide to lift everybody up in the communities, right, you'll have a set of people that are independent, having their own finances, independent thought, and that is problematic for the PPP. So they have to suppress. So there's no chance that you're going to get. They're just giving you the hope that you might get. But in reality, there's no plan for you to get anything. Now, let me share the story. I was in a barbershop, and this young man, one of the shining stars in this community, I'm not going to call the community name, right? He's a shining star in the community. He's a contractor. And he said, we're going to get the PPP, you know, to get to talk. We're going to get the PPP, blah, 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 blah. And I whispered to him, I said, how long are you with the PPP? He said, 5 years. I said, you've been a contractor for 5 years? He said, 5 years. I said, show me the one contract that you got, that you've been with the PPP for 5 years. That's $100 million. He bowed his head and he stopped off. Because that's as far as you get to go. And that is reality. So our community, our supporters, our constituencies have to see through these things and rally around our representatives so that we come together as one force to challenge this uneven-handedness and to basically put this government out of power. I'm gonna make this statement bold and plain, boldly. We got to unseat this government at the next local government election and at the next general and regional elections. There's no plan for our community, guys. None, absolutely none.
Nima, you can surely go ahead and add your voice.
I agree with my comrade there, Psycho, that there isn't any plan. I say to our people, sometimes we're easy to forget. We like to forget, but we must always remember the things that were achieved under the PNCRA PNU. I always say to people, I'm a very proud member of the PNCR. I think nothing could change that. That is the party I've been supporting all the while. I'm very proud to be a part of the APNU because I know that our vision for the people of Guyana is to get them out of poverty, is to help them to live a better and a comfortable life. I'm not in a grouping that seeks to grab, 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 and take, only for themselves and for their family. I'm not in that grouping. I'm in a grouping that seeks to empower Guyanese. That's why I'm serving. That's why I am serving. I always tell people the sacrifices I make is because I am about service to people. If we can have everybody living comfortably, look how beautiful this place will be. And that is what we seek to do every single day when we go out and we stand up and we speak and we represent the interests of the people. I think of all the things that Ganesh would have mentioned. I think about KNView every day. KNView was a self-sufficient community that was destroyed and buried by the PPPC government. And when you pass the
Yeah.
Heroes Highway,
Yeah.
you look opposite, you already recognize the Chinese have
Yeah.
all the
Yep.
key
Yep.
spots along the Heroes Highway with the supermarket and the this and the that. Partly only they have the rights, but you destroy the livelihood of the people of View and bury the community. You bury that community, but every day is, keep it in prayer. I look at how people at Hillfoot were destroyed, and now you pass the highway. You see who squatting close to the highway? You ever notice it? All the
Yep. Yep.
Venezuelans put up the
Foreigners.
shack. I ain't see no grader. I ain't see nobody running to harass them there. But when the Guyanese were living there, suddenly somebody suddenly owned. Graders went in, destroy. You see, families destroyed, children left homeless. And we look at that subsequently. The Venezuelans are within that same area. Nobody's being graded down. We look at Sarah Johanna. I want to remind people, this is an opportunity to remind you why we fight. Sarah Johanna, there's a road that is supposed to pass at the back there. And because they don't want those ordinary Guyanese, not the elites, not the friends, not the family, not the favorites, to benefit in any way from where this road is passing, we see they grade down those people homes. We see they move them to areas where they can't even build. Only 2 days ago, I saw some of the persons whose home were graded down in Sierra Leone rode the bicycle till the Heroes Highway to sell guano. They say, no, MP got up on the hustle from Sarah Johanna come down. We fight. Look at the people's friendship. And it's not rich people. It's people who are struggling to make ends meet. People who apply for lands and can't get the lands. People who are professional teachers, nurses, ordinary people. But again, they don't fall into the elite bracket of the PPPC, so they don't care. They do not care. So these are the things we continue to fight for. We look at all the atrocities that continue to happen to Guyanese each and every day. And I say to our Guyanese tonight, we in the APNU is about helping to build. Being a gravelers there, we're helping to build. We want to see Guyanese people benefit from this quote unquote fastest growing economy in the world, but we see the population is the fastest growing economy set of people in this economy. And so we have to continue to fight. We have to continue to stand up. We have to continue to speak out. I remember Ganesh words, people power. Everybody should get up. I always said it. If when Caneview was being destroyed, we saw Chevron products being graded down, people they left with it then come with some bricks and some wood, the message would go right. They want to go to nobody else. And I'm saying it again. Look at what has been happening to our young people at the hands of the police. And people say, oh, yeah, we can continue sitting down and say, oh, come on, Guyanese people. We have to get up. We have to unite. And we have to fight. Because if we don't do that, the oppressors that we have for government will continue to be there. And that's not what we want. We want to fight. Fight against the oppressors, not ourselves.
Psycho, I see like you wanted to add something before I go to another discussion.
MP Ganesh, you spoke about the quality, yourself and Nima spoke about the quality of individuals in the APNU. And it's important. Some people might say to us, you know what is our problem? Our goodness is a blessing and a curse to us. Our goodness and our commitment to the people, our love for the people all across this country is what motivates us that whenever the APNU, the PNC takes the reign of power, it takes its time to ensure that it designs projects, it considers how these projects affect people, and it puts every effort into ensuring that value is delivered to our people because of that love and that care that the PNC has. Now, that is what some people think is our curse. Because what the PPP does, they don't even care about you. They want a road here, we can get some votes for this road, that's your road. We call 3 times the price, it breaks up in 2 years, they don't care. Because at the end of the day, they get what they think they need, which is a vote. And Guyanese have to wake up to really rally around people who really got them at heart, who will make every move to ensure that their lives are better. By the time we left government in 2020, public servant can say we were better off. School children could have said we were better off. The 5 Bs, they can look back at that and know in their hearts we were better off because our children were able to go to school, attendance improved, grades improved, it was less stress on parents, struggling parents. And these are the things that people who care about you put in place when they have the reins of power. And so I'm making the appeal, Ganesh. I got to make the appeal to our supporters and our base that you have a set of leaders in the APNU who are genuinely committed to your well-being, not their own self-interest, but your well-being. And all we need is for you to rally around us as we fight for you.
Thank you. Thank you, Psycho. I now want to switch to a finding in the Auditor General's report. And as we continue to have these discussions, from time to time, we are going to look at a finding or two of the Auditor General's report so we can have a discussion and give people outside of these generalized comments some direct information so they become aware that when we call the People's Progressive Party a corrupt bunch of thieves, we have justification to solidify that claim that they're nothing else but robbers in our country. Now, I'm going to talk about the old age pension here, and I'm going to give the information to you, my comrades, about what is the finding of the Auditor General as it pertains to the old age pension. A little background information, and you would know that in the past, the old age pension would normally be paid out by the Guyana Post Office Corporation. Our senior citizens in the past would have to find their way on the first of every month at the post office nearest to them with their voucher book, and they would collect the money from the post office. The post office and the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security will then do a reconciliation to ensure accountability, transparency, and good governance as it relates to the distribution of old age pension. And it is the people's money, so one expects it to be done in the most transparent and most accountable manner. Now, this is the finding in the 2024 Auditor General's report for the old age pension. The sum of, and I want us to pay attention so that the discussion on this will become very important. And people who are listening, our comrades who are listening, please also look at it and listen. The sum of 43.186 billion was allocated for old age pension and social assistance for the year 2024. The allotment was revised through allotment transfer in the sum of $314.081 million, increasing the total allotment to $43.5 billion. So in 2024, for old age pension and social assistance, a sum of $43.5 billion. The sum of 1.385 billion was indebted by the Guyana Post Office Corporation to the ministry. However, an examination of the reconciliation statement received from GPOC for the month of December 2024 revealed that GPOC was indebted to the ministry in the sum of $1.092 billion. I want us to understand that we're talking about billions of dollars here, where accountability, transparency, and good governance are the issues at hand. Therefore, there is a difference of $293.219 million between the amount stated in the cash book summary and the amount stated on the reconciliation statement. Similarly, in 2023, there was a difference of $136.076 million. In addition, examination of the reconciliation statement prepared by the ministry also revealed the following. The amount stated as indebted to the ministry as at 31st of December 2024 was $1.382 billion. In other words, what they're telling me here is that they can't account for $1.382 billion at the ministry level, because the reconciliation with GPOC is not there. The books in reflecting the billions. The book in reflecting it. However, the ministry cash book reflects the sum of $1.385 billion, which results in an unexplained difference of $3.262 billion. In addition, the GPOC discovered fraudulent coupons totaling $29.376 million. So outside of this $1 billion that they can't account for to reconcile between the ministry and GPOC, the GPOC discovered fraudulent coupons totaling $29.376 million, while the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security discovered fraudulent coupons totaling $25.920 million. At the time of reporting in September 2025, amounts totaling $55.296 million were unaccounted for in the ministry's reconciliation. There was an overstatement of coupons totaling $10.360 million in respect of the year 2014 to 2016. This matter was highlighted in the Auditor General's report of 2022 and 2023. Reports, however, it was still not resolved. Now, all of these billions, Saiku and Nima, is an accumulation over the years. But still we have the very same people administering the affairs of our old age pension and social assistance. And we have this reconciliation issue. We have billions of dollars year after year increasing, and there seems to be not an attempt to address it. Now, can you imagine if we can correct the errors surrounding $1 billion, which continues to climb? Would it not be fair to conclude that we will be able to give our senior citizens more money in their pockets if we can have this issue addressed? Would it not be fair to conclude that if we can address this level of mismanagement, this level of unaccountable behavior, this level of non transparency, we would be able to have more monies to give to our senior citizens? What are your thoughts on that? You can start off, and then we will have Nima.
But Ganesh, again, this is exactly the problem. You this didn't start in 2023. This has been something that has been prolonged, and I mean you're the one that is on the public accounts committee and stuff like that. So you would have all of these information too, right? This is something that has not started in 2023. It continued to permeate across the years. Now, my thing is, there is no willingness on the part of the managers of the people's resources to fix this issue. Because if there was, somebody would have figured out the issue by 2021. And mind you, the PPP had 23 years of being able to manage this sector, this program. So they should have been able to know where the loophole exists and to close those loopholes. But instead it continues. So the question now is it that this is just unexplained, or is it this a deliberate act? That those who are in charge, you understand, just do not want to fix the system because the system allows everybody to enjoy the gravy train. And again, like you said, if we were to do this thing prudently, we don't have to look for money someplace else. All we got to do is turn off the tap because the bucket got a hole. Turn off the tap, patch the bucket, turn it on, and you will realize that we can have more to give our senior citizens. And this is where you were talking about just the old age pension issue. But when you think about doing a road and losing $11 billion because you choose to give an overpriced contractor rather than a reputable international firm the contract, we're talking about the loss of 11 billion that could have gone to those very old-age pensioners. That is what we're talking about. So there's not a care. It comes back to what I'm saying. There's not a care. Or is it a case? Not only that there's not a care, but there's a lack of competence, managerial competence. And these people probably don't even know what they're doing. So any businessman, I'm a businessman, I tell you guys, it's easy for people to get money. It's hard to keep it, and it's hard to multiply it. Yes. And maybe the PPP is good at getting money because you get pile money. You're good. You could spend it, throw it around, blah blah blah. But when you examine it deeply, like what you just did, you realize it's 1 point something billion unaccounted for, no reconciliation for 200 and something million. A ministry when you add it up 40 something million. Fraudulent vouchers and all these things. These are the little things that take away from our ability to give the people what they truly deserve.
So true. Nima, 1 minute before program time. Have your say.
All I will say is that the famous song say old time something come back again, right? This is what we see. Same set of old people, crooks, in the same position, you get the same results. The sad thing is that our seniors are the ones who have been suffering as a result of all the crookedness and the dishonesty that continues to be displayed. You know, even as you spoke about that, I recall receiving 3 calls within the last week from seniors who were concerned that books were printed, their names, and when they turn up to printed, not with their names on it, some kind of printout for them to get their little support or whatever. When they turn up at the location, they're told by the staff that instructions wasn't given for them to be paid as yet. I don't know how that works. That's something that I'm looking at. Then something is definitely wrong with the system, because if books can be printed and I'm supposed to go and uplift my money on the first or the second, and I'm being told that instructions not given for me to be paid, for me to receive my money as yet, something is definitely wrong. And there are persons who are going to get the support from the ministry And they're also having serious challenges when they get there. You're booking ready today, it ain't ready tomorrow, it ready next month, it's ready the other month. But every time a senior travel, it's costs, it's money. So we need to see better. We need to see accountability for our money. And I don't know why the accounting officers are not living on home yet. At least we should have seen a meeting for that, like how they dismiss all them RU. We should have seen a whole session at the Ministry of Human Service because the Auditor General's report points out that we have billions of dollars missing. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Neiman. Thank you, Saiku. Let me assure the viewers that this is an issue that we will zone in on when it comes to the Public Accounts Committee. But right now, the government seems to not want the Public Accounts Committee to meet. The chairman has been trying for over a week now to get a day so that we can meet. As you are aware, the PPP changed the status quo by way of changing the standing orders as it speaks to the quorum of a Public Accounts Committee. You need two from government, two from the opposition, and the chairman. And every day that was proposed so far, the PPP is saying they're unavailable. So it is clear that they are running from accountability. They are running from the guardrails of democracy, and they don't want the public to know what are the findings of the Auditor General's report from 2020 to 2024, where we currently are. Saiku, I'll give you the chance to bring your closing words.
I just want to say to our supporters, for those of you who are looking at this program, that you were saddled with a government that really do not care for you. At a time and at a juncture where we have transformational monies coming to our country, we are not making use of it in a way that allows all people to benefit and that our future would be secured. And so we have to begin to think about it because we are losing money every day. We are building roads, we are losing monies from it. We have old age pension, we are losing monies from it. We have the cash grants for school kids, we are losing money and value from those billions of dollars. And it literally robs you, the citizens, of an opportunity to get more and to advance your life. It robs the people at the bottom from an opportunity to come to the middle. And it even robs the people at the top, the genuine, legitimate businessmen. It robs you because every time we don't get a chance to expand the middle, you rob the opportunity to have a bigger base. And so I say we have to move this government out of power and give people who have you at heart the opportunity to run your affairs.
Thank you very much, Saiku. And let me also thank all our viewers who were here listening to 107.1 FM radio on Straight Up. You know your usual program, you would see Mark Benchcup, but I'm slowly edging into ownership of this radio station too. So thank you very much for viewing. It's always nice to be on this program to interact with our supporters. And we do have the critics also who would watch us from time to time to do their own little mischief. But again, we cannot afford to be distracted by the mischief makers. We cannot afford to be distracted by the people who want to distract us. We must hold the focus. We must stay the line, stay the course, and we must fight the battle for the people so that we can have a better Guyana, a Guyana that is genuine for all, a Guyana that is not one that is full of pretentious behavior, a Guyana that is not distracted with optics. We must have meaningful representation. We must stand up for accountability, transparency, and good governance. We must recognize that in order for us to have a better Guyana, it calls for us to have strong representation and not be fooled by distraction. Thank you all. Have a pleasant rest of the evening, and hopefully we see each other soon.
Oh, Jesus Christ, if cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. Flour, everything gone up. Everything just raising. You gotta get about $40,000 for buy good ration. You gotta get 3 man now. A weekend man, a monthly man, and a fortnight man.
I can't take it no more. I can't take it no more. Can't take it no more. Imagine 18 hours a blackout. And you're telling people progress. Cost of living gone up 100%, yet you give public servant less. Mr. President, listen to the people, search your soul and you will confess. I want you try surviving on the public base, then you're gonna know but stress. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. They don't drive no fair with the citizen. They may want the people speak out. Freedom of speech done gone inside the gutter. Knock off when you open your mouth. Discrimination in entertainment, and you're talking about one Guyana. When the Ministry of Culture keep the big shows, one set of girls and banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. Every picture you take and promise you make, everything you do is about clouds. Then you come into me for I shake your hand, there's nothing to smile about. Corruption inside every sector, but when it comes to them they send you. Try investigate efficiency, right? Go talk to Barrett and Sue. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up.
DJ Shrimpy presents his annual Summer Jam on Saturday, July 25th at the Woodbine in Brooklyn. Music by Super Terry, Busta, Lady Supreme, DJ Quinn, and DJ Shrimpy. Tickets $30, dinner included. For tickets, inbox DJ Shrimpy on Messenger or call or text 631-805-7923.
I want a woman to jam.
Imagine 18 hours of blackout, and you're telling people progress. Cost of living gone up 100%, yet you give public servant less. Mr. President, listen to the people, search your soul and you will confess. I want you try surviving on the public base, then you're gonna know but stress. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. They don't drive no fair with the citizen. They may want the people speak out. Freedom of speech done gone inside the gutter. Knock off when you open your mouth. Discrimination in entertainment, and you're talking about one Guyana. When the Ministry of Culture keep the big shows, one set of girls and banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. Every picture you take and promise you make, everything you do is about clouds. Then you come into me for I shake your hand, there's nothing to smile about. Corruption inside every sector, but when it comes to them they send you. Try investigate efficiency, right? Go talk to Barrett and Sue. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up.